All right, so my original plan was to work on the lateral poses like side angle, triangle, those kind of poses. And involved with that is stretching out through the inner thigh. But in addition, we'll work on the core just as like a little warm up. Yeah. So let's go ahead and just get there. Come on down onto your back. Feel free to keep your socks on too if it's cold for you. Yeah. And then we'll just start like this. So create a little tone in your abdomen and press your arms either just straight down into the floor, or if you want to hold onto the mat with your hands and press down that way, that's another way to go. And then it'll be pretty simple at first. Just one leg up and down, and then the other leg up and down, like you're marching in place. And as you're creating this little march, see if you can maintain as much stability through your abdomen, and your torso, and your arms as you can. And imagine that you could lift your legs from the navel. Yeah. We're going to change the pattern just a little bit here. So the next time one leg comes up, keep it up. And then take the other leg up to join. So two legs are up. And then the first leg, bring it down. Second leg, bring it down. So it's up, up, down, down. We'll take that a couple more. Yeah. And as you're lowering the legs down, see if you could land them so softly without a sound. Yeah. Now notice which side is leading. Is it the right or the left? And the next time you go, lead with the other leg. So up, up. Oh, great. Yeah, thank you. Up, down, down, up, up, down, down. And then we're actually going to stay next time you're in the up position. So pause there. Just relax for a second with the legs up. And now take your hands to your thighs, close to your knees. Breathe in. And on your next exhale, press hands and legs into each other and descend your abdomen. And then on the inhale, just back off a little bit from the work. So take a couple more times here. On the exhale, press legs and hands into each other. Drop your belly down. And then back it off. Let's take that one more time. Yeah, I said one more. Actually, do it two more times. And then the next time you find the work, the tone in the abdomen, keep that. Let go of your legs. You can come back with the arms down again, or if you want to take arms in front of you, you can. And then keep the right knee bent and lower down and up. It doesn't have to touch. And then do the left side down and up. Yeah. And now as you're going along, just like the other ones, keep as much stability as you can through the torso. Some of us will have a little lumbar curve. Some of us will have more of a flat, not a lumbar curve. And wherever you are is fine, but keep it the same the whole time. Yeah. Great. So then let's take a little break. Just bring your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a little wobble here from side to side. And we'll come back to the upside down table position with your hands on your thighs like we just were a moment ago. Find a little bit of that press. And now take your right hand on top of the left hand so both hands are on the left leg. And let's do our down and up now on the right side. And you might find that you don't lower the leg as much when you have this pressure of the hands on the left leg, which is totally fine. But same thing as before, maintain the stability through your torso without creating like a cat-cow movement in your spine. Yeah. I'm hoping this is warming you up a little bit because it's so chilly out there. Okay, and then let's pause and go straight to side two unless you need a break. If you do, just take it on your own. Find a little press on the right side, and then up and down we go with the left. Yeah. Great. And then last one of these, let's bring both knees in, just take a little break, take a little wiggles. Yeah. And then we'll change the pattern just a little bit here. Take your left hand behind your head and hold the head up. And now take your right hand to the left inner thigh close to the knee and put the left leg in that tabletop position. Press your hand and leg into each other towards the midline. And now the right leg, lift it up. And then with a straight leg, slowly lower the right leg down and just hold in any position where you can maintain the shape for a moment. I can hardly talk, so yeah. Okay, and then that's enough. Let's change sides. So hold the head with your right hand and put the left hand to the inner thigh close to the knee. Find the press and then lift the left leg, start to lower down and go any amount that you can stay for a little bit. Yeah, don't go so far that you can't come back out. Okay, great. And then that's enough. Bend your knees, bring them in, take little wobbles. Great. Okay. And then from here, while we're down here, let's keep your right leg in and put your left leg long and just hold your hands behind your right thigh and give yourself a couple times to bend and straighten the knee. Just a little warm up, wake up for the hamstrings. Great. And then let's pause, keep the leg up and bend your left knee so the foot's on the floor. And take your right straight leg to the right, your bent left knee to the left, and try to be level across the back of your pelvis. Now, if you're up for it and you want more for the right inner thigh, you can pick up the left leg and just hold on to the knee or the shin with your left hand. Yeah. And then come back to the center. Let's change sides. So start with the right leg down on the floor and hold behind your left thigh. And take a couple times. It's tighter. A couple times to bend and straighten your left leg. Be gentle, especially if you still feel kind of cold. Don't go max capacity here. Yeah. And the next time you have the leg up, let's pause. Rebend your right knee with the foot on the floor. Take your straight left leg to the left, your bent right knee to the right. And you can hold that, or you can pick up the right leg and hold on to the shin. Okay, friends, let's come back to center. Bend both knees and take any last little wobbles here. Whenever you're ready, we'll turn around and meet in all fours position. Take your time and feel free if you don't need your socks anymore, you can take them off. Right, we will be on the knees for a bit, so if you need padding, you can have a blanket down. Now at first, let's land here in your all fours position and put your awareness here right at the pit of your abdomen, low belly. Take a breath in. And then as you exhale, find a little tone, a little lift there first, and then start to transition into your cat pose. And on the inhale, instead of going all the way to cow, just kind of slide back to a neutral. So do that a few more times, focusing on the exhales for now. That nice lift up through the low belly, the rounding through your back. And then on the inhale, we let go of the effort. Now, this next bit may or may not be for you, just kind of depending. I'll talk you through it. We'll keep moving through our cat-cows. If you'd like, on the next exhale, as you lift the belly, press into the tops of the feet, and maybe you hover the knees and the shins a little bit. Yeah, and then inhale, you come back down. If that's available for you, take it 2 more times. Yeah, it's not a very big lift, And if it bothers your feet, don't worry about it. Yeah. Okay. Next time you come back down, let's tuck your toes under and bring your hips back towards your heels. Walk your knees back and go up for a moment onto your fingertips. And as you do that, give the mat a little grip with your hands. Maybe give your hips a little wiggle as well. Yeah. Okay. And then from here, let's come back to all fours and widen your knees slightly. Take your left hand forward more towards the center of the mat. And on the inhale, we'll turn the chest to the right, lift the arm. Exhale, we'll scoop under for thread the needle, but we're not going to stay. Inhale, come back up, lift your arm. And now on the exhale, put your right hand where the left hand is. And we'll change sides. Inhale, other way. Exhale, scoop under, bend the right elbow. Inhale, come back up. And then exhale, put the left hand down, change sides. Yeah, so go through that a couple more times. And if the pattern doesn't quite work, just take a couple on one side, a couple on the other side. Yeah. All right, guys. After you finish this next one, let's meet back in all fours. Just actually take your time here and then we'll meet in a child's pose. Any variation you like. Yeah. Once you get there, walk both hands over to the right. And then if it's available here to put the left hand on top of the right hand, do that. If that feels like too big of a reach for now, don't do it. Move your hip, the left hip away from the left hand. Yeah, and can you turn the right side of lift the right ribs towards the ceiling and your left ribs towards the floor. Good, and then let's undo. Walk the hands now towards the left. And once you get there, if it's available, you can put the right hand on top of the left hand. And then from here, turn your left ribs towards the ceiling, your right ribs towards the floor. Okay, let's undo. Walk the hands back forward and then come up and undo your wide knees. Just come back to regular hips distance. Shift forward and down here. We'll come onto your abdomen. And once you get there, lengthen your legs back. Let's prop up here on the forearms and move your chest towards the floor. On your next inhale, don't move the elbows, but pull back. Broaden your collarbones, lengthen the front of your spine as you lift, and then exhale back off and just come down. So just that much, a couple of times more. Inhale, find that little pull first before you come up, and then we'll back it off. Great, one more time. Nice. And then once we've come down, just fold your hands, rest your forehead, bend your knees, and give your legs a little swish back and forth. All right. So I'm going to have us roll over, and you guys can just face in towards the center of the room. If you're at home, just pick a side. So you're laying on your side. And then from here, I'll suggest bending the bottom elbow to prop up your head. If that doesn't work and you'd rather just lay on your arm, that's fine too. Now on your bottom leg, reach out and press down through the pinky side of your foot. We want to keep that the whole time. On your top leg, let's lift and then bend the knee. And then we'll turn the knee open, that's an external rotation. And then turn the knee towards the floor, that's internal rotation. Do that a couple of times and see if you can do it without letting the torso wobble around. Yeah. Great. Next time you point down, the internal rotations stay. Drop the knee a little closer to the floor and then slide up towards your face. And then go up into the external rotation, like tree pose. Yeah. Go down towards the other foot. Internal rotation will go around a couple of times. So internal on the way forward and up, and then external on the way back down again. Yeah, all right. Now, the next time your knee points up towards the ceiling, stay there. Flex your foot and slowly reach the heel up towards the ceiling. This pose is called Anantasana, or kind of, it's a variation of. And then bend the knee and do again, reach up through the heel and bend the knee. Now go about halfway up, not all the way. Pay attention to this lifted leg and create a little more external rotation. Wrap the outer hip down. Can you keep that as you lengthen the leg the rest of the way? Yeah. Now stay here and pay attention to the bottom leg for a second. Continue to press the pinky side of the foot down into the floor, and you might feel a little work going on all the way up into the right, into the buttock on that side. Yeah. All right, let's bend the knee. Release the leg down so it meets the other leg. Yeah. And then come down onto your belly. Just relax for a second. And if you wish, you can do a little windshield wiper or little circles with the legs, anything like that. Yeah. We're going to go to the other side, and I'm going to have my back to you, and you guys will be facing the wall. So now that we know what we're doing, turn on over. Set up your head however it works for you. And on your bottom leg, reach out and then press down through the pinky side of the foot. Lift the top leg, bend your knee. And then at first, just do your internal and external rotations. Yeah. As you're moving along, do your best to not wiggle and wobble through your torso. Next time the knee points down, stay. Drop it a little closer to the floor. Slide forward toward your face and then turn open towards the ceiling. And do that 2 more circles. Control is the name of the game here. Yeah. Next time your knee points up to the ceiling, let's stay. Flex your foot and then slowly reach the heel up and then re-bend. Do that a couple more times, just a nice slow back and forth. Yeah. Now the next time you go, just go about halfway up. And in this lifted leg, create a little more external rotation. Wrap that outer hip down and then go the rest of the way. Yeah. All right. And stay here on the bottom leg. Press into the pinky side of your foot. Good work. Let's rebend. Release the top leg. And then transition all the way down onto your belly again. Take a little break here. Maybe you do the windshield wipers. Maybe you do a few little swishes. Anything like that is fine. Yeah. Okay. Now in a moment, we'll head to down dog. We're not really going to stay. We'll just use it as a kind of first down dog of the class position. So take your time to get there and don't fret if it's not your best down dog. Give yourself a little wiggle time in the position if you need it. Yeah. Okay. And then we'll return to all fours. So come back down. And now a little bit ago, we were doing cat cow with that lift in the belly. I'm going to have us do the same lift in the belly, but this next one, we're not going to change the spinal position. So take your hands just a smidge forward. Bring your right leg back with the toes tucked under and the left knee just a little bit forward. Breathe in. On the exhale, find that tone through the abdomen and then hover the left knee, keeping the left toenails on the floor. Yeah, and then inhale, come back down. So it's a small movement. Do that a couple times. So the effort here will be on the exhale, that little lift. And then inhale, we release it down. Yeah, take it just one more time. Yeah, now that you're in the down, put it back down. Now lift the right leg, the straight leg up off the floor. Take the left arm forward with the thumb facing up. And bring the knee and elbow in towards each other, towards the center. Go ahead and do around the back here. Now, here's where it's exciting. Take the knee to the right and the elbow to the left and hover. Oh, whatever is still on the floor, press down. So your right finger pads, the left top of the foot. Keep the leg up, put the hand down, kick your right leg wide, and step the foot down to the floor. Yeah, oh, a little relief. I'm gonna face you. And now take a few cat cows here. If your hands get tired, you could go on your fists or your fingertips. We're about to come off your hands. Ah, yeah. Okay, guys, let's pause here. Keep your right leg wide. If you are gonna want padding for the knee, go get it and then come back. Let's come up like so here with the hands on your hips. Yeah. So we're gonna play with our internal and external rotation, but it's different now. So rotate your right leg so the knee and the toes turn up. Bend your knee and hinge over. Oh yeah. And then up we come. De-rotate and re-rotate. We'll do that a couple of times more. If you know the pose Parigasana, this is a very similar shape. It's not exactly the same, but similar. Yeah. All right. Next time we hinge over, we'll stay. Lift your right arm just kind of out and up and rotate your torso towards the left. Yeah. Now you can stay here or you can take the left arm up to join. All right. Now let's keep your legs more or less in position. Bring your torso upright and now hinge the opposite direction. Great. Okay, that's enough. Come back up. Let's re-lengthen your leg, de-rotate, and actually bring your hands back down. Now, a little bit ago, we did thread the needle. This will be similar. Lift your right arm up, and now scoop it under the left side, and don't force it. Just wherever you land, you land. You might get just the back of the hand, maybe the elbow. Good. And pretend your right inner thigh could breathe, and send your breath right there. Good. Okay. And then that's enough. Put your two hands down. Reset your right knee. And then let's take just a child's pose in between sides. So come on back. Any extra add-ons that you want to add on are welcome here. Good. And then while you're here, let's have the hands forward and go up onto your fingertips. Give the mat a little grip with your fingers. Good. Then we'll set the hands down, reset, all fours position, but have the hands just a smidge forward of your shoulders. Then let's take the right knee a teensy bit forward, the left leg back. And here we go with this one. So breathe in. On the exhale, hover the right knee, but keep the right top of the foot on the floor. Keep your spine neutral. And then inhale, come back down. So do that 2 more times. And whatever's still on the floor when you come up, press down, give a little extra boost. Nice. After this next one, once we're down, pause there. Let's lift the straight leg, the left leg up off the floor, and then take the right arm forward. Yeah, good. Then from here, do round the back, bring the knee and the elbow in towards the center. And here we go for our yoga skydiver. Knee to the left, elbow to the right, hover. Whatever's still on the floor, press it down. Oh, this side for me is not as hard as the first side was. Yeah, keep your leg up, put your hand down, take your left leg wide, step the foot to the floor, and then take some cat-cows with this wide leg position. And we will get off the hands in a second, but if you need to do that sooner than later, you can just put your hands in a different position. Good. Okay, and then pause. Let's walk the hands back to your hips, come upright here. And then we'll go to the heel, turning your knee and the toes up, bend your left knee, hinge over like Parigasana, up we come, and then de-rotate. Do that a couple times more. Yeah. I'm hoping you're getting this inner thigh stretch for all of these. Yeah. I have a very asymmetrical, like one side is just regular tight and the other side is about 10 times tighter. Okay, guys, let's do, next time we bend the knee, we'll stay in the position. That's it. Stretch your left arm out long, and then turn your chest towards the right, and you can add in the right arm if you wish. Yeah, it's like side angle pose, but we've got this knee down. And then bring your torso upright and hinge just a little bit the other direction. Just because it's interesting. Yeah. I don't know what that noise is. Oh well. Up we come. Put your hands back on your hips and reset the left leg. And then let's come on down here. Turn your chest to the left, lift your arm. And then we'll thread the needle-ish, scooping the arm underneath. But don't force it. Just wherever you land, you land. Yeah. Huh. Okay. And then when we're done with that, redo your arms, redo your leg. Let's go to child's pose with the toes tucked under and the finger pad, the spider fingers in your hands. Give them a little grip. And then let's play with the shoulder rotation before we come up to down dog. Lift your hips just a little, bring your chest slightly forward. Stay on the fingertips for now. Bend your elbows out to the sides and then rotate your arms so the elbows turn in towards each other. Go ahead and set your hands down. Keep the elbows a little bent and keep the rotation, but then lift your forearms. Yeah, keep that. Lift the knees off the floor. Now push the mat down and forward through your hands. Send your hips up and back, away from your hands, and slowly start to re-lengthen your legs. Once you're there, if you want to add in any extra movement, feel free to do so. Nice. Okay, guys, let's pause here. Take your feet a little wider. Bend your knees, walk your arms back to the legs, and come up with your forearms on your thighs. So in this position here. On the left side, gently press arm and leg into each other. Turn your chest to the right. Open up for a twist. Yeah, and then lower down. Go to the left, other side. And then down. Press into your heels. Come all the way up. Inhale, lift both arms. Exhale, lower both arms. Great. Let's bring the feet right underneath you. Adjust your clothes. And then we'll take aside this position. And for today, let's do the Charlie's Angels hand hold. So you'll interlace the fingers except for the pointer. Go ahead and get there. And then pull up and go to the right just a little bit at first. Yeah. Notice where the weight is in your feet. And can you shift more towards your heels? Good. And then turn the right side of your chest slightly more forward and maybe go a little more. And then once again, put the weight in your heels. Turn the right side of the chest forward, maybe go a little more. Oh yeah, nice. Let's come up on an inhale. And then change the interlock of your fingers. The other thumb is on the top, and then up we come. Inhale to lift, exhale to side bend, just a little at first. And then put your weight more in your heels. Turn the left side of your chest more forward, and then maybe side bend a little more. Yeah, good. Keep the weight in your heels and turn the left chest forward. Good. All right, up we come. Up we come. Release your arms. Yeah. Step your feet a little more apart and just be really lazy for a moment. Just wiggle around, move any way that you like. Oh. Yeah, you guys. Okay. Okay. So let's go to the back of the mat if you're not already there. Reset your mountain pose. Your choice, either hips width distance or you can have the feet touching. Inhale, we'll lift up, Urdhva Hastasana. Let's come down through the middle. Bend your knees, take the hands through prayer, and then put your hands to the shins. Inhale, slide your chest forward, lengthen your legs. Exhale, come back down, bend your knees, fold. Do the halfway up again. Inhale, lengthen. And down and fold. Great, one more time. This time on the way down, we'll walk the hands forward and go to plank, and we will stay. If you need to do a different variation, do it. Once you get there, broaden your collarbones, lift your abdomen, and just to make it more interesting, take a teensy bend in your elbows and a teensy bend in your knees, and spin the elbow tips back towards your knees. Oh yeah. Bam, doesn't that make the plank more fun? Sometimes we just kind of prop in our joints, but when we bend a little, it makes it more challenging. So let's lower the knees all the way down and the elbows the rest of the way to come down. Yeah. Ah, all right. And then while we're down here, let's keep your hands in position and just a teensy bit lift the chest and do a little shoulder roll on one side and then on the other side and take that a couple of times. Back and forth we go. Yeah, great. And then let's pause here and lift both front of the shoulders away from the floor and point your elbows back. From here, press the tops of your feet down enough that your kneecaps maybe even lift a little bit. And draw your tailbone more, don't be aggressive with this, but just a little bit in the down, like toward your heels. Yeah. Then lift your hands just barely off the floor, unless that's too much. Small but mighty, this position. Yeah. Okay, guys, lower your hands. Let's press back. We'll go through knees bent position, like almost child's pose, but not quite. Tuck your toes under. Lift your knees off the floor, but keep them really bent. We did this earlier in child's pose. Bend your elbows wide, and then rotate your upper arms. Turn the elbows towards each other like you're trying to squeeze a big beach ball, and then lift the beach ball by lifting your forearms. Push the mat down and forward until your hips move back, and then slowly lengthen your legs. Yeah, great. Okay, this time let's head to the front of your mat. So bring your feet to the hands. Take a halfway lift. Lower down, bend your knees, put your weight into your heels, and then inhale, come all the way up, lift your arms. Release your arms. Yogis, let's take a little celebratory hula hoop asana. Good. And go the other direction. So we'll take a little pattern in a second. You've probably done this a million times. We'll do warrior two, side angle, triangle. Then we'll do some more stuff to open the inner thighs. We'll try those same poses again and see if they're any better after the other thing. Yeah. So if you want to have blocks, just set them up at the front. Get there via lunge for this variation. Yeah. All right. And then before we do this sequence, let's stay at the front of the mat, bend your knees just slightly and lift your toes off the floor. And then think of all the leg muscles hugging in towards the bones. So the really strong leg muscles. Keep that idea as you press down through the balls of your feet. Keep the toes lifted, firm your leg muscles. On the inhale, lift your arms. And then exhale, forward fold. You can relax your toes, maybe bend your knees, Uttanasana. Inhale, halfway lift, move your chest forward. And then on the exhale, come down. Let's step the right leg back to lunge pose. And before we come up, be here for a moment. Pull your pelvis back and your chest forward. And then turn your back heel down to the floor. Come up to warrior two. I'm just going to have my back to you here. Yeah. And notice how the pose feels in the front leg and the back leg. And right. Then from here, let's take your hands to your hips. Tilt your pelvis. So the right pelvis will lift up, the left one will kind of move in and down. And then stretch your left arm out long. And you decide here, either bring the forearm onto the thigh or the hand down onto the block. Turn your chest towards the ceiling. Let's start with the right arm just straight up to the ceiling here. And then slowly start to lengthen the front leg until we end up in something like triangle pose. Yeah, good. Now, from triangle pose, take the top arm, reach it overhead unless that bothers your shoulder. Then rebend the front knee back to side angle. That's it. And then we'll come up to warrior two. Okay. Windmill the arms down and around. Lift your back heel. Let's go to down dog. And then your choice. In down dog, you could stay here. You could go back to cat-cow. If you want a little more juice, you could inhale, go to plank. And then exhale, go back to dog. So take a couple breath cycles, either movement, stillness, any of those variations. If you know something else that I didn't mention, that's fine too. Yeah, great. Nice work, everybody. Let's meet in down dog and come to the front of your mat. So bring your feet to your hands. Just take one half lift as a transition between sides. And then as you lower down, step your left leg back, lunge pose. Don't come up yet. Let's work on this length here. Draw back through the pelvis, forward through your chest. Turn the back heel to the floor and come up to warrior two. Yeah. So just settle in the pose for a moment. You got it. And then we'll add in that tilt of the pelvis. So bring your hands to the hips and find that tilt. So you'll deepen the right hip crease as you lift the left pelvis up. Stretch the right arm long. And then you decide, either forearm to the thigh or hand to the block. And then turn your chest to the left, lift the left arm. And I didn't say this on the first side. If your forearm is on the thigh, that's fine. But as we transition to triangle, you might slide the hand down to your chin. So go ahead and lengthen out the front leg, Trikonasana. Yeah. Good. Stay here. Take the top arm overhead if that's okay for you. And then keep it there. Rebend the front knee. So we're back in side angle, just a different version. Yeah, that's it. And then keep the front knee bent. Up we come back to warrior two. Gorgeous. And mill the arms down and around. Lift your back heel. And now from here, yogis, just take the blocks with you. We're going to pivot towards the left and come into this wide leg position. Yeah. Now, because we got there via the pivot, you might not be completely straight. So check your feet and make sure one's not ahead of the other. Then from your position here, bend your knees slightly. At the tops of your thighs, press wide. And then counter that in your feet by pressing down more through the ball of your big toe. Yeah, keep this happening. Move the chest forward. And then start to lengthen your legs and descend your chest, your torso at the same time. If you don't need the blocks, just put them off to the side. Any variation of this is fine for now. I'm going to add on in a second. So here we are in our Prasarita Padottanasana. Yeah. Now, if you came down more into the forward fold, let's reset more into that kind of half lift position so your chest is forward. Then from here, walk your hands a bit further forward. If you need the blocks, bring them with you. And then a little bit to the right. Stay there, bend your left knee and shift your hips back in space. Ah, yeah, another inner thigh stretch. Good. Good work. And then return to center, do the other side. Walk your hands to the left, bend your right knee and shift the hips back in space. Now we'll go again with a little variation. Come back to center, and then just a little bit. Turn your toes out and your heels in, but don't do max capacity. So it's external rotation, but just a bit. Then walk your hands again to the right. Bend your left knee and make sure the knee and the toes track in the same line as you shift your hips back. Oh no. Yeah. Breathe. I'm laughing just because my own body is very tight in this position. Let's go the other direction. So arms to the left, bend your right knee in line with the foot as you shift back. Yeah, some of you might find this is your tighter side. Okay, but wait, there's more. Let's come back to center. Heel toe your feet in a couple of times so you're not quite so wide. Yeah, bend your knees a little bit. Take your hands to your hips and move your chest forward. Tone your abdomen and hinge your way up from there. Don't round your back on the way up. Okay. And then bring your feet just right underneath you. Take a little circle for a second. And then go the other way. Yeah. So next I'm going to have we'll do a few seated poses, but then we'll come back and try those standing poses again after we've done some more stuff here. So let's take a block let me show you what we're gonna do. Some folks might like this one next to a wall. You can have your back on the wall, on the block. Will go in between your feet for a Baddha Konasana variation. If you don't want the wall, that's fine. You can just stay on your mat. Let me tell you though what's next. It's gonna be a wide-legged position, and then we'll kind of scooch our way forward. So you can plan accordingly. I'll stay at the wall. It's kind of nice back here. All right, so our first Baddha Konasana here, let's do it with the feet together, the knees apart, and then one block in between your feet. Yeah. And then be in the position and see if you are on the wall, you can just be upright, use the wall for a little support system. Yeah. And then take your hands actually onto the floor, either flat hands or fingertips, depending on how long your arms are. Push down a little with your hands. Yeah. And now this is kind of subtle. Think about drawing your tailbone back towards the wall as opposed to tucking under. Yeah. Good. And then we'll just be here. Baddha Konasana. Yeah. Upavista. Let's get rid of the block. Just keep it handy. And then we'll lengthen your legs out to a position that's stretched because we're going to increase it in a second. Yeah. So from here, let me say this. Oh, I think we can ignore that. I'm going to.
It's really loud over here.
You can just unplug it, Patricia. Just yank it out. It's fine. Yeah.
Oh, shit. I pressed something accidentally.
Oh, that was you.
Is
it Jingle Bells?
Yeah. It's a holiday version. That's great.
That's cute. So let me say the thing before we do the thing. We'll push our hands down into the floor, lift the pelvis incrementally. You'll point the toes, kind of dig in through the heels, and then you kind of scoot yourself a little forward. Yeah? Yeah. So I'll say that again. If you already did it though, you're fine. So press down, lift your pelvis, point your toes, dig your heels, slide. When I say slide forward, it's like a millimeter. Yeah? And then let's stay here for a second. Go back to the flexed foot position. Yeah, and absolutely use your hands behind you to stay upright. Oh. I used to this was kind of one of my nemesis poses, but with those poses, if you actually practice them, they do get better. So if you think after marinating here for a second, you've got one more in you, let's go again. Push the floor, lift your hips, point the toes, dig your heels, and slide. Yeah. Pam, you okay?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, after this, we're going to come back to the wall and do our Baddha Konasana again. So let's back off a little. Use your hands to bring the legs in. And then hopefully your block is still handy. Let's do another round. So sit back against the wall. If you need to elevate the pelvis, take it. Last time we did here. If you want to go wider, either here or here, that's great. This is going to be our last one of these for now, so you choose. And then press down through your hands. See if you can lighten your pelvis slightly and draw your tailbone a little further back, more towards the wall. Yeah. Oh, I'm even using my elbows against the wall a little bit. That might help. That might help. Yeah. Yeah, Pam, I know. These two poses I don't include that often in the beginner's class, but you guys have been doing this long enough. Yeah. All right. And then back that off. Let's remove the block. Let's put it aside, and then we'll do one more round of our Upavishta here. Okay, so at first, just come into your position that feels like you can be here for a little bit. maybe not max capacity. And then, when you are ready, if you're ready, press down into the floor, lift the pelvis, point the toes, dig the heels, slide. And then reflex your feet. We'll marinate for a moment and maybe do one more in a second. Yeah. Now, if you don't need the hands behind you, you don't have to, but since we're here for a little bit, it's a little easier. Yeah. Okay. And then be honest with yourself. If it's not a good idea, don't do it. If it seems like a good idea, lift the hips, point the toes, dig the heels, slide. Okay. Carol, are you okay? Just checking. All right, friends, let's back out. Use your hands to kind of slide yourself back in. And then before we come up, clutch your arms around your legs. You can be kind of rounded, curled in. And then press your legs apart, your arms in, and lift your chest. Yeah, little counter pose. And then back off. And do it again. Press the legs, press the arms, lift. Mm-hmm. And why not one more time? Great. Okay, that's enough. Let's come back to your spot. We'll do a down dog, and then we'll check that same sequence we did before and see if it feels any different. Great. All right, guys. From here, let's make our way to the front of the mat. Root down to rise up. Inhale. And release your arms. Okay. So we'll do all of this, the same sequence we just did. I will slow it down and we'll spend a little more time in each pose on this next round. So here we go. Bend your knees a little, lift your toes. And then as we lengthen the legs, push your feet into the floor and squeeze your leg muscles into the bones. Yeah, inhale, lift your arms. And then exhale, forward fold, relax the toes down. Inhale, take your chest forward, Ardha Uttanasana. Exhale, lower, step your right leg back. We'll stay in lunge for a sec. Move your pelvis back, move your chest forward. Turn your back heel down to the floor and then come up to warrior two. Yeah. All right. Is it any easier for you guys? Yeah.
I'm not shaking.
You're not shaking? Now, stay in warrior two, and not aggressively, but a little bit. In your back leg, press your heel down into the floor and back towards the back edge of your mat. And then in the front leg, think of moving your left sitting bone towards the left heel. A little bit. Yeah. All right. Then take your hands to your pelvis, back off a little. Let's find that same tilt that we did before. Press into your back heel, press down and back. Stretch your left arm out long. Try to reach me at the front of the room here. And then come down. If you're able to take the hand to the block, do. If you need the forearm to the thigh, that's fine. Turn your chest to the right. Lift your right arm up to the ceiling. Yeah. Now slowly start to lengthen your left leg. If the forearm is on the thigh, you can put your hand to the shin. Yeah. All right. And now if you're able to, take the top arm overhead on the diagonal. Turn your chest again towards the right. Rebend your front knee back to side angle, but a little different version. Yeah. And then to get out, let's look at the floor. Release your hand down, lift your back heel, lower your back knee, and then just take a couple times of this back and forth. So my verdict, just in looking at you guys, the first round looked good, but the second round looked even better. Let's do the other leg. So next time we're forward, pause. Lift your back, knee, and thigh. Step to the front of your mat. Take one half lift in between sides. That's it. And then down we come. Step your left leg back. Start in lunge. Move your pelvis back. Move your chest forward. Turn the back heel down to the floor and then come up to your warrior two. Take a moment to settle in. And then just a little bit on your back heel, push down and back. And then on your front leg, move the right sitting bone towards the right heel. It's just a little tilt. Yeah. Okay. Bring your hands to your hips and then we'll tilt the other direction. So start to move your pelvis. That's it. And then stretch long through your right arm. Try to reach me at the front of the room. If you can take the block, do. If not, bring your forearm on the thigh. Turn your torso to the left. Press into the back heel and lift your left arm. Yeah. Then from here, start to lengthen your front leg. Trikonasana pose. Take your top arm overhead if you can. Turn your torso again to the ceiling, to the left. Keep your arm in place. Bend the front knee. Side angle pose. Yeah, good. And then look at the floor. Release your left arm, lift the back heel, bring the back knee to the floor, and then take a couple rounds here, just back and forth you go. I'm not freezing cold anymore. All right, guys, let's pause next time we're in the forward position. Reset yourself so you can head in a down dog again. This will be our last dog of the class. Adho Mukha Svanasana. And then as you're ready, we'll head into child's pose. Lower your knees down, send your hips back. Good. Turn the palms of your hands up and just move your fingers a little bit. You can move your hips a little bit as well. Okay. And then from here, let's come up just to come back down. We'll turn around and lay on your back. Keep your knees bent. We're not quite Shavasana, but do have the stuff you'll want for Shavasana because we're getting there. Come on down. Let's do this first part without using your hands. So bring your right knee towards your chest. Externally rotate your right thigh and bring the right ankle over the left thigh for figure four. Now, still without using your hands, pick up the left leg and then press your right leg and the left leg into each other, just using your leg muscles. Yeah. Shift both legs a smidge to the left. Great. And now go ahead and use your arms. You can thread through and hold anywhere on the left leg and let the effort go that you just did. Give yourself a little rock if that feels good, or any other movement really. Okay. And then we'll undo. Bring your 2 feet down to the floor. Before changing sides, take your hands to the thighs at the hip crease and just push hands into legs. Let's back that off. Pick up your left leg without using your arms. Externally rotate without using your arms, and then put the left ankle over the right thigh. Still without using your arms, pick up the right leg and gently press ankle and thigh into each other. Yeah, it's just a little different when we do it this way. It's more of an active position as opposed to when we use our arms to pull the leg in. So now let's do that one. Use the arms to keep the leg in and relax your leg muscles. And then let's undo. Bring your 2 feet to the floor, your hands to the thighs, and do another one of those little presses. Okay. And now as we back that off, we'll start to come into Shavasana, our final resting pose. And chances are you will cool off here. So have extra blankets, socks, whatever you need. Take a deeper, fuller breath. And start to bring any kind of movement, something gentle back into your body. And when it does feel right, you can bend your knees and roll to one side. And take your time from there to come up into any seated position. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste.
Namaste.
Namaste, yogis.